Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are in Sharlayan. And let's see what's gonna happen next. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the Studium as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholar Montigen and thank him for coming to our rescue in the Rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Fafnir. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for... Ah, that's a butterfly. Since we're still waiting for Y'shtola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join? Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to Phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the Studium for a time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Alrighty, let's gather everyone up. Alrighty, we got Alphino and LSA here, and Kryle too, but we knew that already. But yeah, they weren't so sure if they should come. It's, you know, they're not best friends with the forum right now. Here it is, Phenomenon. Well, I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expensive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the center of what would later become the Studium, it was established to promote the study of ethereological phenomena, hence the name. Though with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life and even the universe itself. And then in the 432nd year of the 6th astral era, Phenomenon was decreed complete and the Studium officially opened as a place of learning. Okay. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in ethereology. Oh god, I did it before. The arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Sharlayan's foremost educational institute. Yeah, can we please go ahead with that stuff? Yeah, I always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited that same foppish speech, such as his undying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the Studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and the ethereology? I can't speak. Undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on, you both joined the Studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino actually entered half a year before me. Nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I'm certainly not the Studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow? If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Levier began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Montigen. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's put up and ask the students if they've seen him. Oh my god, now I have to talk to the students. Let's do that. Alrighty, so a little kid told us that this woman might be able to help us. And her name is Aliapo. I mean, isn't that, like they're, in Eorzea, I think? Are you lost? Wander in off the street, perhaps? Wait and tell me, you're a trainee gleaner, fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Ah, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Search's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the Studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Search's Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Paisa, this, tongue of Gigantode, that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end. Which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, just being a school of magic and all. As our newest cleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. Damn, she doesn't stop talking. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Scholar's whereabouts. I've tracked down many miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. Nah, I mean, she was kind of rude when I started. I beg your pudding? You're not a gleaner. Then this was an elaborate ruse. No, wait, come to think of it, you never actually came to be in the one in the first place. My mistake. Yeah, your mistake. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts. Home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. And the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the scholar has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Why are we even looking for him? Oh man, okay, let's go. Alrighty, we're here with another student. Yes, the scholar was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Let's go there. Alrighty. I swear, I spent so much time on this already.
Ah, I remember you.
At least we get some voice acting.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that Inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisois in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student.
He's right, though.
Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Seems fun.
If I may, There is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
We're actually going to school now. Can't you just teach them? Why do I have to be here? I'm not gonna get it anyways. I have to take notes.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology.
Etherology. Okay. Etherology. I try to remember.
The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into 3 forms.
I already forgot. Damn it.
2 are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Don't know. I didn't pay attention. I don't know. First one?
Yes. Very good.
Nice.
This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
We are not able to remember.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The 7th Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet.
Nice magic trick.
I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
I'm gonna talk to her again. Please don't make me. I've been granted the run of Phenomenon. If your game, Gialiapo, would put your artisanry to good use. Hell no. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're on one step closer to understanding the forum's true motives and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Kialiapo, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. No, don't make me do that. Please, no. Okay, speak with Graha, that's good. Hey, here we are. Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the Studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Wilbrand. Alright. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. Why do I feel like those scales are gonna be stolen? We have to get them back or something. I shouldn't complain though. Virtua and the alchemists of the Great Work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers, as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn, I can feel it, to Limsa. Let's go to Limsa. Alrighty, we are in Limsa. I was told to expect you, as you may or may not be aware. The Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seatsier and the Sultana. Three of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Why would I have to prepare? My apologies for calling you away from Sharlayan at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition, or our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Well, that is, true. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. That's good. It is reassuring to learn we are all on accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Sharlayan, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts, with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of Kobold, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Razat Han has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. And it is you, the Sons of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telophoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilzabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they served the Telophoroi's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. Well, don't tell these. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Fenkert and Eorzea observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor and what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Sod was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway. Though the same could be said of the Telophoroi, they're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the Spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Yerstola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on their observations inside the Tower of Sod, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the largest spire in the capital. There's a logic in that, regardless, once we have uncovered the truth. We'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honor and glory, for the people of Garlemald, for revenge against the Telophoroi. Did I say for the people of Garlemald? For honor and glory, I don't know. Couldn't have put it better myself. Stola, Fenkert and Eorzea have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Raban and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations. I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telophoroi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not only the only ones who can create a diversion. But shouldn't we destroy the towers here? Like, as they said, it's sucking in ether like crazy, no? Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. But I mean, if we would just focus on taking down those towers first, everywhere here, I mean, wouldn't that be smartest before we go to Garlemald or whatever? Alright, but let's meet up with Raban. Alrighty, we're in Alamigo. Next cutscene. Please, some voice acting. Of course not. Ah, the Wanderer's return. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Guardians has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emeric's struggles mirrors my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Well, hello there. Word of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on our side. On your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange, I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Telophoroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I'm branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. True, we'll deliver your people from harm in your stead. I doubt they'll be pleased to see the champion of Eorzea set foot on Guardian's Hall. That's not disgusting shit. I mean, I guess in general they won't really like Eorzean armies. No? For what it is worth, you have my gratitude. You and your comrades have the strength and courage to deliver my countrymen. I am certain of it. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected your political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said, might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you, all of you. Thank you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Best of the best. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Let's go. And there we are.
By the 12.
Hey.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emeric, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
But to be honest, like, Garlemald is one country, right? I'm sorry, we are like a whole continent, or even multiple continents we could ask against one country. I don't know. Sounds kind of overkill.
If I must, I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
I could have guessed myself.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Well, hello there, Sickard.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sickard, in case you've forgotten.
Oh, Sickard.
Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughingstock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
Nice.
Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front. It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield. From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the Avatar of Destruction.
Old friends.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Oh no.
Lord Emanolain!
Ah, yes. Emanolain de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that.
So his brother is just like, you know, you have no idea how to fight. Let's send him to probably the most dangerous battlefield ever. I'm sorry, I like his brother, but I think he has to realize that his brother wants to kill him.
But should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
I mean, I get it that he doesn't want him around. But still, it's his brother, you know, it's different if I don't want him around or his brother. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring-do.
Oh my.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Is it Yashtala's boyfriend?
Out of my way, you preening fool!
That sounds like the girl. Hey, there we go. Why is the little one there?
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
She doesn't even know how to fight.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
Yeah, I hope so.
For battle and blood we come, as a step is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans. There's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all.
Hey, she isn't racist anymore.
Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Joma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlemald Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Let's go. Hey, we're done. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amaja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telophoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea through their eagerness to do more has been noted. But do back there just swing around his spear. If you shall have to suffice, ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Yes, of course. Okay, I'll do that quickly. Alrighty, we handed out all the scales. Oh my gosh, is this also a super long cutscene? I hope not. It's our last chance to make ready before we set forth. We needn't worry about Urianger and I, we still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Studium claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, and since he spent a far bit more of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. He should open his ponytail though. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you are not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats, if only I had time to find something to my liking. Let me guess, Tataru is gonna show up and give us all clothes. that the cry of science in need of a tailor I hear? Incoming Tataru. It was obvious. I made you all some clothes. But how? I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Isabard without telling me. Nothing escapes my notice. Now you will wear these garments I've made for you whether you like it or not. What if it's worse gear than I have now? You never cease to amaze. Well, why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? I did have one other thing to share. Ergmus and Bloomweeda have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. I don't even know who they are. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Nice. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Sharlayan. Oh, why not? You can keep Grand Company in the Badasian Annex. But how is she gonna get there? Yes, we'd love to have you there, and I heard Artemis and Bloomweeda did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Sharlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you. Other than pray for your safe return, which I will every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. I kinda wanna glam that stuff. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Just to see what it would look like. Oh, I could also try it out. Let's go to Garlemald. Wait, but Alfino and LSH just got new clothes. Oh, I got some new stuff in general. Wait, didn't she... There we go. Oh, there it is. Wow. That looks terrible. Okay. Alrighty, but we're gonna end this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like if you like what you see, and obviously subscribe if you would like to see more. I try to upload every single day. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and bye bye!